Hi everybody and welcome back to Legal Nuggets. My name is Angela Curie and today I'm joined in with Kevina from Fanisi and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi everybody, my name is Kevina Nyambura. I'm a HR practitioner and the HR expert at Sandbox.
Yeah. Thanks Kevina. So this month's topic is all about employment. And I chose it because May 1st is Labor Day, and I wanted this whole month let us sit down and talk about employment issues from the perspectives of both the employer and the employee, with regards to some of these touchy legal issues that come about. Actually, I think I call them HR and legal because it cuts right across. And what should we be doing? What shouldn't we be doing? And maybe for me, a starting point is just realizing how expensive employment litigation is on employers. And I'll say on employers because most of the time, 90% of the time, an employer will be found to be liable. And people normally don't understand that it's usually a one. Each successful claim would be 1 year of up to a maximum of 1 year of the salary. So if you're paying someone 100,000 and they had 5 claims on you and they were successful, you could end up finding yourself paying about half a
5 million.
5 million shillings, in excess of 5 million shillings. Yeah, so it really is an important issue as long as you're a business person and you're employing people. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we play a preventive role, and legal plays a corrective role.
Yeah, that is true.
So as we work with business owners, we are trying to play a preventive role because, as you said, if you end up in court, but you'll correct me, I think maybe we look at it differently for legal, but we know that if an employee takes you to court, the chances that you will win are very, very slim. And it's because many times we either don't have the knowledge of how to prevent or avoid this situation getting there, or when things go wrong, you get really upset. Someone has stolen from you 5 million, you're so upset.
Yeah.
You want them gone now.
You don't want anyone to tell you, by the way, you need to go through a procedure. You want to go to the act and say the act says summary dismissal, and so I want to do it immediately. But that's not how the courts will take it.
So we play a preventive role, and legal plays a corrective role. And because at the point of correcting, or where we play the corrective role, it's you as a business owner in court. And at that point, it's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
It's too expensive. So playing the preventive role is where we play along in HR, and is where we need to put a lot of effort. And even when you come to think about it, it's not very difficult things that you need to put in place. They just half the time maybe you don't have the knowledge of what you need to do, or we allow our emotions to take over, especially when someone has really annoyed you, they've stolen from you. That's the one that I know. People steal from you, discover fraud, you discover, your truck, someone's been siphoning fuel and everything.
Yeah.
At that point, you get very upset. And you want that person gone immediately.
I think for me, that's the part that is interesting. I think that when we look and we say employers, usually the employment court usually finds against the employer. I don't think it's that necessarily the court is being unfair against the employer. I just think that the standard is really high if you're an employer. And so the law has said, for you as the employer, this is what you need to do. And if you fail to do it, then chances are you're going to be found to be liable in one way or the other. In fact, sometimes I find a lot of matters are almost a catch. Like I have been dismissed and I'm unhappy about how it happened, and so now I will remember everything that my boss has ever done and throw everything. Like it's almost like employment litigators will almost do a catch-all because they know I will catch this employer somewhere. There is something that you did wrong, and I know I will catch you on the thing that you did wrong. So it's really about understanding what it is, what's that standard that is expected by the law, and then making sure that you're rising up to meet that within your business. And so it sounds for small businesses, it can sound really daunting, and I'm sure you have experience with this, with some of your clients.
Yes, and that's where we come in. And as I said earlier, it's actually not too difficult. It's putting together maybe checklists. So you put a checklist to say, if there's an exit, this is what we need to do. Even at entry, when we are first recruiting, these are the things we need to look out for. When we are contracting, these are the things to look out for. And if you have an employee, even if they're not HR, they're just admin, once they have that checklist, it's not too difficult to follow. Yeah, but we don't. And that's why we end up in court, and then it becomes very, very expensive.
Becomes very expensive, and then I think the other thing beyond the checklist, and maybe it would also apply on the checklist, is just making sure we are keeping data, we're keeping information, because I think a lot of times I'll talk to an employer and I'm like, where is the employment contract? Or where where are your letters? You say this person has not been performing. What process have you gone through with them? Where is the letter? Did you give them a warning letter? Did you try to correct the situation? So a lot of, I think it's largely administrative, but it's work that you need to be aware that you need to do as a business owner, and then that's the only way, as you say, you prevent. That's the only way you protect yourself. Yeah. So that even if you go to court, you're able to come and say, okay, well, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I followed the law, and then you now be able to use the law as a shield for yourself.
Yeah, that's true, because process is what creates checklists.
Yeah.
So you need to have a process.
That's right. Yeah.
So you have a process, as I listed, for everything that you do. You have a document that is linked to that process. And then the checklist is only it's just to make sure that you have followed what you put in place, and it's not complicated. Yeah. However, it just takes time, and as you said, you need an administrator. You need someone assigned to be doing that. But when you're in that situation, when you need to release someone, that's when you need to stop and see how we followed everything. Yeah. Because if you don't do that, then you go to court. And I keep saying the reason for the termination is usually not contested. Many times the reason is legit.
Yes, that's true. The reason is legit. Yeah. It is the process.
It is a process that was not followed.
Yeah, that is very true. So, I mean, I hope as everybody listens through and follows us in this conversation, we'll all be able to learn a bit more and learn the things that we need to do in the business. So please share, follow, like, as we talk about these interesting issues. And yes, follow us through the whole month of May.